Right, hello everyone, welcome back to round 2, Division 2 of OTLR. I am your commentator Ashton Britt and I am joined by OTLR Tom as per usual. Today we are going around Mexico, which is going to be a really tough circuit for some of these drivers, and I am not a good commentator because I forgot to put the track map there. So, well, that's my bad. The one thing I forgot is the most important thing. But obviously, Mexico is going to be a very tough track, especially coming into turn one and that second sector for those S's. The really high speed and low speed turns. I'm excited to see what pole is. Well, our current actually, well, I don't think he's our current championship leader. But here is the standings. We got Nobody Cares with his first win of the season back in Brazil, followed by Griffin who got P2, then Red Bull 2 and 3. Brian Bremo, you might know him. He got pole last time out. He has been promoted Division 1, so we unfortunately won't be seeing him in Division 2 anymore, but you will see him tomorrow when he's being commentated by Corey and Lanky. And then going over to the team standings, it is pretty much the same as what you saw in the driver results. Aston Martin obviously leads, then followed by the Red Bull team. Well, Tom, how do you think about this race? Do you think it's going to be going all right?
Bear with me a second while I just make sure I can actually be heard.
Yeah, I think you can.
Yeah, I can. Right, all good. So, I think it's going to be quite interesting. It's a bit muggy. I can see a bit of grey in the sky, so I'm unsure if it's going to be rain
Oh
at
no.
any point during qualifying. Obviously, it's reset lobby during the intermission between quali and race, so the weather doesn't carry over. Um, it's a tricky track for the drivers because it's got a big long straight and there's a lot of low downforce sections of the track. But the corners are quite demanding on the downforce of the cars. Obviously, ground effect cars on the game, different to real life at the moment. So I think that it's going to be quite difficult for the drivers. Drivers are going to have strengths and weaknesses in their
The
game
game
today.
should show up on screen in just a second. I have an advert, so I have no clue if it's on there. I hope it's on there. If not, that's more issues for the commentary team. But so we got our first driver going onto the grid. Have you got the stream open? No game? Oh great.
It's always something, man.
F125. Let's have a look. Let's tab back into the game and hope this works. If not, I will have to put it on display capture. Hoping for the best now.
Yeah, there's
There
no
we go, it's
game.
back. Here we go, we are back.
Yeah, but
And the Yeet Meeks in the Haas will be the first one to be setting a time. I expect Division 2 drivers to be maybe aiming for like low to mid 15s for pole, possibly a 14.9 if some of these drivers have been practicing, but if he has the final few turns like that Haas just did, I don't think he will be setting any valid laps at all. So actually no, we won't go on board with the Haas because my onboard camera looks absolutely disgusting. So now that Brian
yeah.
Bremo, the Manchester United player, has got promoted, who do you think's going to be leading the charge for this season?
I don't know if I like the fact that he got promoted. To be honest,
I mean, with the
I
times he
don't
was
know
setting up
about
Brazil and Mexico, it was bound to happen at some point.
was it. To be honest, I don't recall straight away, but in my head, he's got the
You mean,
same sort of level as some of the drivers. I
yeah.
mean, he's improved. He's improved a lot. To be fair, obviously, reigning champion of the division. Obviously, we'll get a new champion at the end of the season off the back of those decisions made by the officials. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think the new front runner. I mean, that position's now up for grabs. I suppose it's up to the drivers to determine that amongst themselves.
Yeah, it means we will see a different driver on pole today as the Haas driver just come through the S sections. If he does it right, he can pretty much take it flat out. The setups can be pretty different here. Some people opt for the higher downforce setups, some for the low. That's 57.3 for the second split. He's on a bit of a slow run, and something must have happened throughout this lap for him to be setting those type of sectors. But obviously, Division 2, we're not trying to see any rapid times, so it could still be a decent lap from where other drivers set their times. He gets a 17.1, Mercedes right behind him, and Alberta Tetris is about to set a lap. No, it's not, it's Pipe Tech. Pipe Tech is about to start his lap. So it was the V car with Nicholas who sets a 15.3. That is an amazing banker lap for him. So nobody cares is the one to beat today. He goes pole 3 attempts quicker than the person ahead. And then Istanbul and Tyre Clear go P3 and 4 with a bit of a massive time split, must I say.
Is that pulled off to the side there? Sorry, I don't know. I don't know if you mentioned that.
That is the kick salvo of Shek Tortolis probably. And Dougie gets disqualified. So it was Dougie, to answer your question. I don't know what
Yeah.
happened there, but yeah, it's unfortunate. So by looking at Andreas' sector times, he should be in around the same sort of pace as P6 to P7 as Griffin goes P5 with 15.7. What can Andreas do in the McLaren? Can he jump into the top 5? He's across the board. It's only a P7 and almost a second gap to the car ahead. It's one of the other Haas drivers. No, it's not. Is it Alberto Tetris? No, he's starting his lap. So who is on a lap? I have no clue. We go on board with Lewis, who sets a 28 flat for Sector 1, which is pretty much good pace for exactly where he should be. If he keeps up the consistency, he could be on to this place, nobody cares. With a 56.1, he is on for a low 15. Depending on his final few corners, he might be able to get into the 14s with a really good banker lap. So far, Division 2 has already beaten last season's Division 2 pole. And maybe lost a bit of time in Sector 2 at 15.6. Puts him right behind the Ferrari. Go on board with the debut driver of Vengeance Gamer. What can he do? P9 and gets a 16.2. So far the grid is pretty split when it comes to times. Nobody cares. Still right at the top. Alberto Tetris now. Some traffic ahead of him. Hopefully dirty air doesn't affect him too much.
I mean, who's now? We've got Alberto, yeah, he's the only one that is. I actually made a screenshot.
Line.
There he
61
goes.
into the top 10. Identical times to Ty
Oh,
Clear.
yeah.
Obviously, Ty
Very
Clear said it
close.
fast, so he stays ahead for now.
Mirror's not close to starting his lap yet, so I'm not sure if anyone else is saying that and getting lag.
I think Istanbulin is on his second lap. He was only marginally slower on his second run. Maybe just had a bit more fuel. By the looks of the Rever, it feels like, no, he's down 3 attempts. So that'll be his run over. It does look like it's going to be raining at some point. The clouds are very grey. Obviously, with a lobby reset, it could still pour it down in the race, and if it does, then anyone can win. Sid gets a P3, I totally missed that. He's got a 15.5 just in front of Istanbulin. So far, really good banker lap for Nobody Cares. Lost one teammate, gained another who isn't in the lobby just yet. But, yeah.
Mirror's starting his lap, so he'll be one of the drivers on a lap now.
And I think Morgan Hughes needs to invite again. I don't know what happened to him and Dougie. I mean, Dougie probably left after the disqualification, but...
What? Well, he says he's in the lobby for me.
Just need to keep an eye on RS Salguero as well.
I've invited him like 4 times, I'll be real.
Yeah. Alright, his mirror is about to a 28.2. It's pretty decent a banker lap pace. This would definitely, I'd imagine put him into the top 10s. Being into the 15s is where you pretty much want to be for your banker lap. If you're behind, then you're not really going to be in for a good day when it comes to pace, because Mexico is one of those tracks where you need to be on it, especially with how quickly the rear tires overheat.
Yeah,
So
tire wear is unreal. It's so bad here. It's like you can't do more than like 2 laps on soft. It's abysmal.
I think he's, depending on sector 3, I think he's in for a mid 15 here. Mirror 82, can he get ahead of his teammate and into the top 5? So he comes towards the final corner. It's going to be foot to the floor, as close to the curb as you can be. Crosses the line. It's a 15.3, just behind Nicholas in the V car, and that is an amazing lap from Mirror. What about the Haas driver? Can he improve on his time? He's a 10th up on his time. Is improving, but won't gain any positions. He needs to gain at least a few seconds. Well, pretty much half a tenth if he wants to improve his position. So go on board with his finishing key lap. Will he improve even more? 3 tenths, only P13. ahead of Shrek Tortoise. What about Wolfrin? Yet to set a time. Had a decent Sector 1. Sector 1 is where pretty much just a straight and and 2 turns. Sector 2 is where all
Times
the
all in
times can be
sector
found.
3.
And 3, yeah.
Just about how easily you can get through the stadium section. Like, if you can scrub as little speed off as you can going into that hairpin and carry as much as possible and just throw yourself at that last little
Nicholas
tiny
goes
straight.
pole,
You
actually. We
throw
missed
yourself.
that.
No, it's
14.8.
just happened now.
Is it just happened? Oh, we unfortunately missed that, but that is a good lap from him. Wolfring goes P9 of his 16.1. Lost 5 temps somewhere in Sector 2 compared to everyone else. But that is an amazing lap from Nicholas in the V-carb. He is going to be very happy with that. 2 temps ahead of Nobody Cares, so Nobody Cares is going to have to get out there and respond to that. What can Griffin do as he comes up towards the end of Sector 2 at 15.9? He could possibly jump quite a few positions here, on for a low 15, high 14, depending on his Sector 3. This is where it makes or breaks, probably wide to the curb a bit too much. Definitely going to lose a few times, comes towards the final corner, has a massive wiggle and exit, and that's definitely going to cost him time, but still improves by 5 attempts, gets up to P3 for 15.2. It is the Mercedes, I believe. Pipe Tech. Is Pipe Tech on a lap? Yeah, he is. He's improving by 7 temps. That would put him P15. No more than that. Crosses the line. He jumps up to P13. Istanbulin has unfortunately invalidated his lap. Vengeance Gamer, the debut driver, sat on a 16.2 right now. Can he jump up into the top 10? Crosses the line, yes he can, 4.5 temps improvement, jumps ahead of Chalk by almost just about a tenth. I think Lewis is about to finish his lap, he's 2 tenths up in Sector 2, so he's matching his teammate right now. If he doesn't have a wiggle off this final corner, he should be able to get a better time than his teammate. Doesn't wiggle, but has a bit of a bad corner, crosses the line, and sits just behind his teammate. What about Sid? Sid's just starting his lap, so we'll go back to him in just a little bit. Go on board with Chalk, who's a tenth and a half up. This will put him ahead of the Vengeance Gamer and the Williams. So far doing well to be in the top 10 for his debut. Crosses the line, gets ahead of the Williams driver, but sits right behind the Ferrari. Istanbulin, yes, he is improving. Almost invalidated there, 2.5 temps up. Using the track as much as he can. Lost some time in Sector 2. The smallest improvements will get him ahead of Sid, but Sid is also on a lap. So after this lap, we'll go on board with him to see what he's doing. So far, it's looking like a pretty clean lap for the Ferrari driver. Does he get ahead of Sid? Yes, he does, only just about. Can Sid respond though? 2 tenths up in Sector 2, I think. But not the best of Sector 2s compared to the front runners, so Sid might only be on for a P6, maybe P4 if he can improve even more. Crosses the line, improves by 2.5 temps, sits just ahead of the Red Bull driver. We've on board with Somebody Cares, who's improving by 2 temps in Sector 2. What can he do in Sector 3? It's going to be make or break of his lap. This is going to decide whether he gets provisional pole or not. Crosses the line, and it is with a 14.7, gets ahead of the V-carb driver just about by a tenth. And with 5 minutes left to go, he can definitely improve by a bit more than he currently is.
Yeah, Morgan finally on track, so he is in the lobby. I've invited him countless times. So
Yeah, he's been disconnected. I think he might be having issues. It's just RS Salguero.
Mirror across the line, goes P2. That's on 14.831. It's not a bad lap time from him.
1 millisecond ahead from the V-carb driver. Sorry we missed that. That is unfortunate.
Really close.
Dougie has rejoined the session. Morgan with a 28 flat in Sector 2. It's a good pace for Sector 1. definitely will put him into the top 10 depending on these final few sectors. And with 656.1, he's definitely on the lap for the top 10. He should at least be high to mid 15s here. It's literally about how well he tries to cut the course here with these curves. Obviously not going off the track to give himself an advantage, but enough to help him gain lap time as he flies into the pits and he's on another run that hasn't been set. But Mira P2, it's a great lap from him, 1 millisecond ahead of the V-Carb, so the V-Carb would definitely be going out again, trying to snatch that place back and possibly trying to grab it off Nobody Cares, who set a 14.7. Aris Salguero just said he needs the invite in chat, by the way. I'm saying another one.
Honestly.
The next person to be saying for lab is Andreas. So we definitely see where the pack will be when it comes to the race. We got 3 drivers into the 14s, which is more than I originally thought there would be. And Aris Salguero joining at the right time, he should hopefully be able to set 1 lap. With that lap blow, I don't think he might be able to jump into the top 10. But finishing last is better than finishing anywhere, I guess. As all the other drivers start to finish will come up for their final runs. Got the Ferrari, got 2 Ferraris, the Mercedes and the Sauber. I keep getting those 2 confused for some reason.
Yeah.
Right, so we've got some more cars coming out of the pit. Hopefully this doesn't mess up Andres too much. Hopefully he might be able to use some of these cars as a tow if he times it correctly, but there is I think that is a Williams or a V-Carb coming out of the pit. I don't think he'll be able to get the tow from that. Or was that his lap? Wait, was that his lap? Oh no, I think he's on the lap now. That must have been a little bug. But P11 with his 16.1. He's looking to improve. See how much he improves in Sector 1. Two tenths improvement, definitely improving on his time, but needs to find even more if he wants to gain, well, at least be in the top 10, because right now he's going to be staying exactly where he is. With how close P11 to P13 is, he definitely won't be staying P11 for much longer. He comes towards the end of Sector 2. 6 tenths improvement. This is a massive lap from him. This should definitely put him into the top 10, possibly ahead of the 2 Ferraris, depending on Sector 3, where all the time could be found. As he comes towards the final corner now, he's got to be really brave on the throttle, try and get it back on it as soon as he can. So it's close to the curb, crosses the line, and it's a 15.3 P7 for him. That is an amazing lap for him. We've got Istanbulin, who isn't improving. Hopefully he can keep it on track. Validation at this point will be costly for his qualifying. 2.5 tenths up. That would put him into the top 4 maybe, depending on Sector 3. And here is a better camera for the Ferrari.
More cars on track now, so everyone will be setting their final lap times. Here comes the Ferrari. Istanbul and P4 goes 15.217. Not a bad lap time, just P4. I feel like a couple of others might improve. Here comes a Kick Sauber. I think he might start, no, it is. Maybe he started a lap, I'm not sure.
Who is on a lap that we can watch? Is it Andreas? No. See what Nicholas can do. He's not improving in Sector 1. Is he improving in Sector 2? Yes, he is, only slightly, but this slight amount will help him massively, and he will definitely be able to get ahead of Mira if he can make it stick in his final few corners. We'll stay on board with him. I don't think pole's on the cards for him today, but definitely a P2 for the V-Carb driver. Has a massive wobble, and I think he's just lost all his time as he flies into the pits. So Nobody Cares is only improving by 1 millisecond in Sector 1. There's yellow flags ahead. Hopefully he can get past without any hassle. Morgan Hughes, I think, maybe just took... No, never mind. Somebody Cares improving. on for a 14.6 here.
Just number to pits.
What can Nobody Cares do? About to cross the line.
Improve.
Improves,
Yeah,
gets
that's a
to
big
a
improvement.
0.6. What about RSL Gero?
Improve.
Joined late, had a bit of a slow sector 2. Can he improve even more?
I think slowest.
You got the two Red Bulls about to
Griffin.
cross the line. Lewis doesn't
Yeah.
improve. What can Griffin do? Griffin jumps up to
P4.
P4. Trek Tortoise has invalidated. What about Pipe Tech now? I don't think he's improving as he flies back into the pits. And that is your grid set, everyone. Who is the one driver we're missing? I just noticed.
That's qualifying anyway. It's a
Yeah,
good
Nobody
qualifying.
Cares. Grabs pole by quite a margin to Mira. Mira doing really well. 1 millisecond ahead of the V-Carb driver. It's been pretty close qualifying. Obviously, if Nobody Cares is obviously it's one of his tracks. Last weekend he wasn't able to grab pole. Sat P2 just ahead of the Red Bulls, but only just about. But look at that qualifying. That is a pretty close between everyone from front to back. As they just get the pictures. Yeah, well, that is it. So Nobody Cares P1 and Mira gets a P2 and then Nicholas P3. Red Bulls, well, not really strong tracks compared to to Brazil, but obviously we've got Morgan P5. Istanbulin had a great run P6. Then obviously Sid P7. Probably didn't do as the best he can. Did get impeded, I heard, for his lap somewhere. Andres P9 and Ty Clear topping off the top 10. But everyone almost into the mid-15s. That is really good laps from everyone all around, from the front, mid, and the back. It's pretty close. Obviously, the gap to pole is going to be much bigger than you would see tomorrow. But the pace-wise is pretty good. So we're about to go to the intermission, and we're about to get the lobby reset. So we go back to my beautiful face on stream. To get the chat up. And I got an advert. Jeez.
Advert. Get subscribing.
Right. We just watched. I probably should remind them to retire quickly, actually, because. Did Ropsy Cola join?
I don't think he did.
Oh my god. Dougie, I think, is on AI mode. I'm not sure. It's not. Sorry. Right. So we get the grid set. Okay, you know what? No, we're gonna get the grid set, and we'll give you Tom to do a little OTLR talent show.
Talent show? I ain't got the talents to show anyone, man.
Ugh. Right. Oh, why am I doing that? I should probably stop looking at my phone like that. It looks weird. Well, that is Dougie with his first win of the season. Everyone give him a round of applause. Applause. Oh my god. Right. So we've got 16 people in chat. Everyone give your predictions on who we think is going to win this
20
race.
viewers in the stream. Get waving, everyone.
Obviously, the Division 2 commentators, we lost out on a famous footballer, Brian Bremo, did race for Division 2, but he somehow found pace and has been promoted. So if he can take his pace and bring it into his football games, Manchester United might actually be able to do something when they play football. Damn, I'm on a 20 watching streak for OTLR streams, by the way. Isn't that crazy? That's like almost 2 seasons full of just streams. Right. Come on, still. Come on, Damac Dua. Who do you think is gonna win this race?
I'll go first anyway. I think. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I don't know how a lot of the drivers match up against each other. So
You think Nicholas will win? I mean,
I say I don't know much about him. That's what I mean.
I mean, he almost won last time out, but unfortunately he got a penalty. It's gonna be pretty close between him and Nobody Cares, I think. He qualified, I believe, P3 by he missed out by 1 millisecond, which is really unfortunate. Alright, so Nobody Cares in P1. There's Griffin. Did Griffin leave? Yeah, he did. I think he's a re-invite, I think.
Right. He's got an invite. Is he back?
I'm not sure. I'm doing the
Somebody joined.
grid right now.
Yeah, he's back. We're missing how many?
Oh, that's everyone. Oh, 1. We should be 19.
So who's not here? Both three. Yeah, they're both three. So missing one. I think it's Rupsy Cola.
Alright, and I believe that is everyone. That is everyone. Let me just tell them to get ready and then not ready up until I say so. Right, while everyone readies up, we are just gonna take a toilet break. I will switch it back to the driver standings just for 2 seconds, so you don't see an empty room and an empty chair.
Yeah, driver standings are. But it's just the finishing order from last race. To be fair, Nobody Cares winning last time out. Griffin and Lewis for the Red Bulls getting a good finish there. Brian, who's been promoted, so he won't be participating in this championship any further. Those 13 points for him will stay. There's 13 points. Morgan, Nicholas, Chalk, Mirat, Istanbulin, and Ty Clear rounding out the current point scorers and the top 10 from last time out. And that is the full standings. So
Right, I am back. Go to the team standings. There you go. Aston Martin at the top, obviously losing out to Brembo is going to be a massive hit on their championship contention, but obviously nobody cares. Taking pole today, so they obviously will be up there. And it's going to be a dry race today.
whose turn is it for lights out?
It's up to you. I can do it, I
It's
guess.
round 3, so it's me.
Yeah, it's round 2.
Oh yeah, no, it's you.
When should I leave it till? 53 or 54?
What do you mean?
When should I get them to go? 53?
What, in 20,
No, I mean 33.
Yeah, just say 33. I remember setups and stuff.
Yeah. Could be like the longest minute of my life. Ready up, everyone. We should be getting going now. Right, hopefully we are on for a treat. It is Mexico, so it is going to be something going into turn 1. It's a very long straight to turn 1. And I would also be excited to see what some of their setups are like. Obviously, with the tyre strategy, it doesn't matter if it's a 1-stop or a 2-stop. I imagine most people will be going for the 2-stop. Maybe everyone apart from Ty Clear. Ty Clear is known to do his 1-stops and win the race. As we are about to get going, we got Nobody Cares on pole. It's 5 lights out. And then it's away we go. A bit of a delayed start, but so far it's looking like it's clean for everybody. So far as move already being made, Griffin gets ahead of Nicholas. What can Mirror do on Nobody Cares? Mirror of the inside line, but I think Nobody Cares just about has that wing difference and is able to get ahead almost 3 wide coming into turn 1 between some drivers. But so far everyone able to keep it clean. Nicholas is not having a great start to this race. Fell back by 2 positions. Istanbul into 4th. Griffin jumped up to 3rd. We got some moves towards the back. Chalk getting up past Andreas. So far it's been a great one for these drivers. 2 wide coming into that section between the V-Carb and the Ferrari. The Alpine trying to utilise from it, but stays behind just now. And that other Alpine of, I believe, Morgan tried to make a move around Lewis, but just failed to do so. What can Sid do? Sid is chasing down this Ferrari. Sid obviously has that pace difference between the Ferrari, and he should be able to get a clean overtake, possibly before the end of this lap. We're not even into lap 2 yet. We shall see. They just try and go for a move. No, it's not. For so far, that is your order for lap 1. Nobody Cares leading this race, and Nicholas losing out by 1 position to Griffin.
Yeah, it's been a hot first lap from Nobody Cares. Now, as it stands, be if the race was going to be a one-lap sprint, he would be double winning, but he's got to hold off for another 34 odd laps now, so it'll be tough. I'd imagine he's going to be challenged at some point into the following laps.
So the Williams driver gets past Chalk. It's now Williams 11-12. Needs to go and fight for some more positions if they plan on getting any points here. So far, the Ferrari driver doing well to stay with the V-Carb of Nicholas. Nicholas struggling on the first lap. So he's definitely going to have to find some more pace again if he wants to try and get back up there. As Lewis and Sid are scrapping. Sid stays where he is for now. Lewis is in a Alpine Baguette. He's definitely going to be wanting to get past that soon if he wants to try and catch up to the rest of the pack, as Sid is falling off and falling off massively. 6 tenths is now the gap. Lewis with DRS should be able to make an overtake within the next few, well, probably within this next lap. Is Ty Clear about to make any moves? He is up the rear end of Morgan. Yeah, 2 stop is the strategy around here. See how many of the drivers are able to stick with it. DRS open for Mira. Can Mira try to make a move? By the looks of it, somebody's Care's wings are way too low for the McLaren driver and he's unable to get past. What about the Ferrari? Ferrari looks for the inside, attempts to do a dive move but backs out last second and was unable to get the move done. Got some moves towards the back, I think, between McLaren and the V-Carb.
Mira hasn't made nearly as many challenges as I thought he would yet, maybe just buying his time a little bit, but unfortunately that would pose Griffin the opportunity to challenge him, so he has to make the right call soon. It'd have to be at the right time in the lap as well. He doesn't want to leave himself vulnerable on DRS.
Sid is looking to make moves on the Ferrari. Fell back quite a bit. Sid's definitely running low wings compared to Istanbulin, because when they're on the straights, Sid catches up massively. As there's a yellow flag. Who is that? I think that's one of the Williams drivers. No, it's the V-Carb with Chalk. Something's happened to Chalk. He must have spun around and he has lost it and is falling back now 5 seconds plus to P18. He's definitely going to have to rethink his strategy if he wants to try and get back into this race, as Nicholas gets ahead back of the no, does he? No, he doesn't. He stays where he is, but Sid gets past the Ferrari with the help of the V-Carb. Can Sid keep this position? As he's about to gain more time, he might possibly be boxed in. But no, they've fallen up a line for turn 1 and Sid is now P5. What about Lewis? Is Lewis about to make a move around the inside that turns into the inside and get ahead of the Ferrari? Rise the curb just a bit too much and he's going to stay exactly where he is, which is P7th. That mistake might have cost him, as I think Morgan is in charge to try and overtake him here, but gets boxed in by the Ferrari and also Lewis, as there's a yellow flag for Chalk retiring in the pit. So Istanbul losing out almost 4 positions here, 5 positions now, was P4, dropped down to P9, so something must have happened that just completely slipped my mind.
Still yellow flags, Chalk DNF in the pit, that's unfortunate. What else? I mean, the front order hasn't even changed yet, but feels really close even still.
First 3 seconds of the day goes to Vengeance Gamer on his debut, currently P12. The Williams driver also now within the points, so I'm guessing that's happening from Chalk having to unfortunately retire from the race. Some moves towards the back between the Haas and the Mercedes. Is who's that flies into the pits? I believe that is Vengeance Gamer. He goes into the pits. Might have pit stop damage, so does the Haas driver. Somebody Cares actually lost out the position, but tries to go for a switchback on Mira. Can he get this done? He definitely has the wing to go for it. He's going to have that disadvantage come into what I believe is turn 2 and 3, as the Red Bull right behind him. He's going to get sandwiched in. He's going to have to turn in later than normal, but I think he might have done it. He outbraked the McLaren, and the Red Bull drivers also be able to get past the McLaren, and that is a good double overtake for, well, he got overtaken twice. That was a good move from both Snowbody and Griffin to utilise and get back into the lead and also into P2. Now Griffin is at threat from the V-Carb behind. Mira's at threat from the Griffin behind. Can't even speak today. But yeah, that was a great move from those 2 drivers. Sid still
Okay,
P6. Yeah.
I mean, everyone up until the 10th place car is still attached to this train, so everything's still up for grabs at the moment. Both Alpines and Ferraris are looking hot. Both the Red Bulls too.
Sid is doing a good job not to hit any walls just yet in this race. I'd like to see where he can finish if he tries to avoid all of them, especially coming out of the stadium section. So nobody cares, able to keep his lead on the straight, so his wings definitely helping him out here. Do we think there'll be a dynamic between Sid and Morgan, or do you think they're going to fight each other to the end of this race and just try and get as many points as they can for themselves?
Tell you what, this has been quite a clean race so far. No one being either. Oh, unless what happened to Chorg was like. Not good, but I didn't see that. So.
As there's a big gap happening now. Somebody
Yeah,
cares
big gap's opening up.
gaining a gap. As Nicholas was almost falling out of DRS, he was lucky enough just to stay within Mirror. Hopefully he should be able to gain a bit of more time, but by the looks of things, he's only losing time on the straight. Now out of the DRS. I don't even think he had it coming out of the final corner, so that is going to be costly for him, as now there's going to be a sort of a DRS train between the front three, and then all the back is going to be falling behind. As if he doesn't catch up in sector 2, that might take him out of the DRS games, and he might have to rethink his strategy for later on, possibly go for an undercut. Speaking of falling out of DRS, something has got to happen between these Alpines, currently 6th and 7th. Mirror also doing really well to be in that podium position. Mexico must be a really strong track for him. Hopefully he can use that to his advantage and try and gain the win, or at least gain positions to get back P2 that he unfortunately lost out a few laps ago.
Yeah, a couple of time penalties have come in as well. I'm not sure why people are picking those up. This is quite a good track for track limits. So.
He's already got some pits. Sid and Nicholas in the V-Carbs probably looking to undercut the drivers ahead of them, but I think it's a bit early for a pit stop. So we'll see as the Alpine driver gets past the Ferrari, and the Ferrari actually also got past Ty Clear, which I don't think I saw on the feed, but that's unfortunate. Griffin now is going to be challenging, so nobody cares. Come into turn 3 and 4, I think. Stays where he is for now. This fight between the front three, this reminds you of that car scene with McQueen and those two other cars, which I forgot the name of, unfortunately.
Which cars?
The one that calls himself the King and the green car.
What, Strip Rivers?
Yeah, Strip.
What,
Yeah.
Strip Rivers and
Yeah. This is exactly what it reminds me of now. It's actually Mir is about to make a move along the inside of Griffin, but doesn't commit to it. If he committed to that, I think he might have possibly been able to get the position gain there.
It's Lightning McQueen, Strip Rivers, and Chick Hicks.
Yeah, Chick Hicks. There you go. That's it. As actually the Griffin comes into the
Strip
pit,
Rivers is in.
So it would be nice to see what Somebody Cares can do. And Mira, will they respond to this? Obviously, Somebody Cares last time out didn't respond to the undercut. Was fortunate enough to win the race with where he came out in traffic. He had the DRS and the driver's pacer that was ahead of him. As actually there's a yellow flag, that will be very costly for the Red Bull driver if there comes a safety car, which I don't believe there is. But Nobody Cares is definitely going to have to respond to this, otherwise he might be at threat of an undercut. I imagine most drivers to go for the 2-stop, so there's no point saving tyres. Push out as much as you can Obviously trying to overheat them as much.
Yeah, you don't want to overheat the tyres here. Tyres will shred in seconds, so especially the softer compound tyres.
So we got a second retirement of the day. Unfortunately, the Haas driver just unfortunately being able to finish the race. As Mira is actually falling out of DRS now of Nobody Cares. So Nobody Cares should be able to fly away here. You can definitely see the wing differences in the stadium section. She's actually catching up, but it might just about be enough. Sid gets a 3-second penalty, unfortunately. As Lewis jumps into the pits, and so does Nobody Cares and Mira. So we'll go on board with Griffin to see if he gets this undercut on those two drivers, and I think he has. I think he's timed this perfectly. He should be able to come out comfortably ahead of Nobody Cares and Mira, as they're only just leaving the pits. We go back on board with Lewis to see where exactly, no, Griffin, see where exactly he comes out, and yet he's just about made it. Nobody Cares falls in behind, maybe just a few tenths, so Nobody Cares is going to have to make some moves to get back on that provisional lead. But right now it's Ty Clear who leads this race with a 3-second penalty though, and 26 laps left. I don't think he'll be staying here unless he gets fortunate enough with a safety car, as there's another yellow flag. That is RS Alguero retiring in the pits. I think he just had a slow pit stop.
Yeah. Not ideal anyway, but
So Nobody Cares, he's fortunate enough to be within DRS of Griffin, which means he can get right back to fighting. Sid is 1.5 seconds behind, so there's got no threat of being overtaken from behind. So he can be full out pushing and trying to overtake Griffin. I imagine he would take these hards to the majority of throughout this race, and pit maybe within the maybe when, I'm not sure. I think he will go into another set of hards. So if there's a safety car, he will most likely go on that again. The Aston Martin no-show, his EA isn't working, so he wasn't able to. But as everyone now enters the pits, Shrek Tortoise stays out a bit longer. I think he might have pitted a bit early or stayed on the hards. As Sid gets the fastest lap. Is Griffin about to make a move on Shrek Tortoise? Yes, he is. Can Nobody Cares also get the move done? Yes, he can. So actually side by side coming to turn one. I didn't see that from my angle, but Griffin just being able to keep that position from Nobody Cares. What about Mira? Mira P8, so he definitely got a big undercut. Maybe just got held up just a tiny bit coming out of the pit. He was directly behind Nobody Cares, and coming out of the pits, he is now 2 seconds plus, maybe even a bit more to Nobody Cares, as he's going to be in this traffic alongside the V-Carb and also the other Red Bull driver, as Shrek Tortoise is struggling, losing positions left, right and centre. So Andreas is on the hard, so I think he might go for the one.
Yeah, you don't want to be using the softer compounds here. I think I already said that. The softer compound tyres are just not always the best.
So actually Nobody Cares got past Griffin. We didn't see that, but Griffin must have made a mistake because he's almost out of DRS already. So Nobody Cares back into provisional lead this race. Nicholas needs to do some catching up. He was undercut by, I believe, Sid. So Sid is P4 and 1.5 seconds behind. He could potentially be on for a podium depending on how things play out with that 3-second penalty.
Yeah, I mean, penalty is not ideal in any circumstance, especially. That's like the number one rule. If you don't get any penalties, you're still in for a good result, no matter what happens.
Nicholas, Mira and Lewis all fighting. See who will come out on top. So far Nicholas is on top, following behind is Mira, who is struggling just to get past. Definitely going to have to make some moves soon, as he's losing tremendous amount of time to the guys in front that he was right behind.
Not everyone has a pit, have they? So there's still people yet to pit.
I
Or
think
like,
it's just Andreas that needs to pit.
yeah. Don't
What
think
is
anyone's going to the end though.
Hype Tech about to make a move around Vengeance Game and gets up to P13. Mira about to make a move around the outside of the V-carb. Can he get it to stick? Does have the disadvantage for now. Just a bit of contact there coming into turn 1. Stays where he is for now. Tie clear under threat from Morgan. Without the DRS, he's definitely going to be struggling to try and keep his position here. The final points position, what can the Alpine do? Doesn't look for any moves just yet. The gap has come down quite a bit, so nobody cares catching to the back of Andreas.
Yeah, it's just the lap traffic's going to get in the way now. These two have been head to head the whole race though, Griffin and Snowbody. They've been matching each other. They're going punch for punch.
Sid is struggling. He's only losing time on this stint. He was within under 2 seconds, but now 2.5. What can Mira do? Can he make the move stick this time round? Yes, he can. Gets up to P5. And is now gaining on Sid. Sid only 2.3 seconds ahead of him. So Lewis also gets past the V-Cub. So the V-Cub struggling quite a bit. Sid is on for a provisional P3 right now. If it was to stay how it is throughout the rest of this this race. So you got another 3-second penalty for Alberto Tetris.
2.5 seconds now for the net leaders catching up to the back of Andres. Is he doing a one stop now? I think it's probably one stop territory coming up to it anyway.
This is actually just about... No, he's still staying out before he came into the pits there. As the field is pretty close towards the mid-pack. See what Morgan can do on tie clear without any DRS, so it's all down to wings here. As the V-Carb is actually pitted again, so he's already on for his second stop. I imagine going on to the hards and taking those to the ends, but I think it's going to be a very tough race if he stays on those tyres from now to the very last lap.
Who was it that was with these guys at the start? It was Mira. Mira's dropped off a little bit now. How do you know how he lost that
I'm not
time?
sure. He pitted the same time as nobody cares, but he might have unfortunately just came out behind someone. It was that traffic's just affected him. But nobody cares now within DRS of Andreas, so there's nothing to worry about when coming onto the straight. The only person that needs to worry here really is Andreas. He's about to be overtaken twice coming onto this back straight. I don't think he will pit just yet, or maybe I'm wrong, he does come into the pits. So that leaves nobody cares out in the open. Does he have any DRS? I don't think he will, but no, he does have DRS, so he should be okay just for this lap. As Sid now gets up to P3 and Mira P4, chasing down Sid, does have the DRS, so nothing to worry about with some of the cars behind. He's at equal pace on the straight. Sid just needs to try and gain time now, or at least just hold them off. With that 3-second penalty, the podium is out of his hands here unless Mira and Lewis both get penalties. Mira penalty. Mira within now 2 attempts with this DRS straight coming up. If he can get a good exit coming out of the S's, he could potentially be able to make an overtake coming into sector 3.
Oh, they're all on top of each other here. That's probably why he's a little backed off. They probably got caught up in a battle here, and those two, smarter, have gone ahead.
Sid completely misses the apex from that turn before. I think Mira might be able to get the move done coming into the main straight for turn 1. Within 3 attempts, he would definitely be able to. If he saved enough ERS throughout this lap, he might be able to make a move, and I think he will. It's now all down to setup. By the looks of things, he will be trying to make a move. What tire does he go? Goes for the outside line. Can he get ahead just before the turn? Sid almost turning into him, but manages to avoid it just about. And Mira now claimed he's P3, but unfortunately, being 5.0 seconds behind, he's got some 5.3 seconds behind. He's got some catching up to do.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to make up that sort of gap as well, especially on a track like this.
Morgan now still stuck behind Ty Clear. With that penalty, he's definitely going to have to make the move on the track. Andreas getting ahead of Shrek Tortoise for that final points position. And Lewis overtaking Sid, but going a bit wide. And I don't think he'll be able to keep this, or maybe he will. Depends how much room these guys give each other. Sid just about edging out, staying in P4 for now. And Lewis is going to have to try and take his luck on the main straight. Sid without DRS, Lewis with DRS. He should be able to fly by with how close he currently is.
Yeah, he's got the slipstream as well. Ooh, to the inside, Lewis takes P4.
Sid tries to attempt the switchback. There's a bit of contact there. No damage is happening there, but Sid falling back now to P5, and the gap to P2 from Mira is 6 seconds. So he got undercut by quite a margin. Nobody cares was lucky to come out just behind Griffin, stay within DRS and overtake within the next few laps. But between these two, I imagine Griffin will try and attempt another undercut on Nobody Cares, and this time hopefully get it to stick. So Lewis gets a 3-second penalty. So now with Sid, he needs to try and fight for position as much as he can, as it's now all equal playing cards, and the only person they really need to worry about is Mira, as Sid never gets another 3-second penalty. So you know what, never mind, I was wrong. Oh, that was pretty close for Lewis there. Mira goes into the pits. So Mira into the pits, possibly looking to undercut. Well, keep position from where he was. I think the gap was too big for the undercut on the cars ahead. But now Lewis P3 and Sid P4. Depending on how long these guys can go on their stint, I think they might have to respond to this and go on another set of hards. There's a yellow flag somewhere. I think that's one of the McLarens. Turns back to green flags and they go racing again. But Morgan seems to be struggling behind Ty Clear. It's been within 3 attempts for this, pretty much the entirety of the second stint.
See, look, P3 down to 7, all penalties now. So look, Wolfried, if he can make up a little bit of time, he might be able to gain a couple of penalties.
And with his late pit stop, he might just about be able to. He pitted a few laps later than everybody else, so if he is on for the 1 stop and he makes it work, he could be in for more points than he currently is. "16 laps to go." Imagine people will be pitting within the next maybe 3 to 4 laps. Or maybe now actually, 16 laps. I think they will go on the hard. So I'd like to see what Griffin does within the end of this lap. Will he try and pit again and attempt the undercut on Nobody Cares? Will he stay out as much as he can? Right now he has the advantage of the undercut because Nobody Cares can't predict when he will go in. So Nobody Cares can either take a gamble or he's going to have an amazing in lap to try and protect the undercut threat from Griffin. Right now it's the Red Bull 2-3, like just how it was last week.
2 and 3 is a good points haul as well. Griffin more likely to keep that points haul though,
Yeah.
because he's got no penalty and he's right on the back of the leader. So it's still up for grabs the lead here for him. And don't forget, there's no other cars to get involved, so it's just a straight 1v1.
And with only one Aston Martin driver, if things stay as they are, Red Bull will be leading the current Constructors' Championship. But Nobody Cares is doing an amazing job to stay with where he is with his setup and also probably his ERS management. He's already starting to flash his ERS mode. Well no, yeah, he's flashing, so he's only using in Sector 1, which is pretty much the strategy for this track. As Griffin tries to make a move, they collide just a bit. Both of them able to come out with no damage.
Close one. I feel like he might go for it again into turn 1 now.
Eight seconds is the gap from P3 to P2. These two are going to be in for one hell of a fight from now to the very end. Griffin just needs to commit for his overtakes. I think he's just been a bit too cautious when trying to attack Snowbody. Definitely has the pace to overtake him. Just needs to find the right moment. Goes for the outside line, gets ahead massively with that massive shot of speed he has. He grabs the lead of this race and is now currently leading. It's a Red Bull 1 and 3. So Nobody Cares falling back just a bit. The Ferrari driver getting ahead of Sid. Sid must have had a moment there. Tire clear P6. 2 seconds behind. He's definitely going to have to try and make some moves if he wants to try and get ahead of Sid. All of these drivers with penalties, so moves could be made at the end of this race. If there is a safety car, this will be huge for the drivers without any penalties. The ones that were able to keep it consistent. Right now, Mira struggling so much. Obviously, he's on his second stop, and I imagine everyone else will be pitting within the next lap or two. Sid now has a 9-second penalty, so that would currently drop him all the way from P5 to possibly P7.
Yeah, you're right as well about the safety car. It would be critical for anyone with a penalty. It would be critical.
As Nobody Cares has pitted, so he has gambled and decided to go first to protect himself from being undercut. We'll see where he comes out once Griffin decides to pit. I imagine Griffin will be responding this lap. Sid is also into the pit, so Mira all of a sudden is right back in this. He won't be close to Nobody Cares, as the gap when he pitted was around 6 seconds, and throughout this last few laps probably just lost a bit more time, but I imagine he will be on for at least a P5, P4 position depending on how his race goes. As Morgan is still stuck behind Ty Clear. They've been within 3 tenths of each other this entire race. It's like 2 magnets being pulled along by
Griffin
Ty Clear.
pitch straight away to respond? What do you think he'll do?
Well, the smart play would be to pit here, but I have a feeling he just wants to extend as much as he can. Nobody Cares is in traffic, so we'll see. Does he pit? If he pits, it will be the right call. Does come into the pits, and with Nobody Cares around, God knows, Somebody Cares within 20 seconds, so he's going to come out right as Somebody Cares comes out of the pits. He's already leaving, and Somebody Cares is stuck behind the Williams driver, so I think the Red Bull driver might have this and could potentially take provisional lead, well, take the lead of this race. We'll see, as he's got DRS, it's going to be really close. Is he going to keep it? I think he will. He dives towards the middle, gets past both the Red Bull and the Williams drivers, and he stays exactly where he wants to be, provisional lead.
Yeah, that's what I meant. No, I meant nobody will get it. I thought you meant Griffin will keep the lead that he had, no.
No. Griffin now within the traffic of the Williams. So if this Williams holds up this Red Bull driver, that would make Nobody Cares' day, as there's a gap of already 8 attempts. If you can stay there just for just 2 more attempts, Nobody Cares will be in a really comfortable position here. It's 1.1 seconds is now the gap, so he is already out of the DRS, and Griffin is going to be starting to fall in behind as the gap is now 2.3 and is gaining. So all of a sudden it's just worked out really well for Nobody Cares. He is now going to be able to fly away if Griffin isn't able to overtake this Williams driver within this lap.
Griffin, Wolverine, Griffin's going to have to dispose of these cars as quickly as possible if he wants to catch back up to Nobody Cares. Nobody Cares was pulled blinder there, pitting the lap early. Managed to create that gap for himself.
Where does Sid come out? So Morgan is trying to get the undercut on Ty Clear, but knowing Ty Clear, he'll be saving his tyres as much as he can and probably just trying to go these next 11 laps on those tyres that he currently is on.
I've got to run downstairs for just 2 moments. Sorry, 1 sec.
Yeah. I've never actually wanted a safety car until now. Why do I feel like I want a safety car? I have no clue. I feel like a safety car would just spice things up a whole bunch. Don't you guys agree? Lewis comes into the pits. Nobody Cares is right on the back of Ty Clear. Griffin's actually been able to catch up by quite a bit. Now within 1.5, still without DRS, and I imagine Ty Clear will be defending his position against Griffin when he does eventually catch up. Right now, 10 laps left, and Nobody Cares is in a really comfortable position here. Your championship leader could be on for a second win of the season. I'd like to see how Ty Clear does this as well. Will he be able to stay P2 if he saves his tyres? Griffin finally getting past Ty Clear. I think Ty Clear didn't put much of a fight. He knows his tyres are not where it should be compared to Griffin, so I imagine Ty Clear will be pitting around about now, possibly to go onto the medium tyres, as actually Sid has got another penalty and is now on a 12-second penalty just from off tracks. Oh dearie me. Ty Clear, as I said, goes into the mediums, should be able to catch up pretty easily, as from now to the very end all he has to do is push, and if he can come out on the right position, properly wrapped right behind Morgan, Morgan does get the undercut. Let's see how many positions he can gain. Sid would definitely not be finishing within the points today, so that will be his run of getting points. Well, still in the official league set, still not happening, but that's unfortunate for him. Nothing he can do. All you have to do is keep it on track, and he failed to do so. Where is Mira? Mira back up to P4 after having a struggling middle stint, catching up to the back of Wolfren. I don't think he can do better than the P3 here today, unless there is a safety car within these final few laps of the race. Every driver, apart from 2, is no longer within DRS of each other. Istan Bullen is the only one with DRS. Well, and Mira. Mira finally caught up to the back of Wolfren.
The cat was hungry, and also I needed one anyway. Oh, but not long to go in this race anyway. Feels like this race goes on for ages out of Mexico though.
Yeah.
Feels like we've already done like 40 laps.
Clear within the points, 4.4 seconds behind Morgan. With those medium tyres, he should be able to at least catch up around with a 3-second penalty. Pretty much won't matter. No time is being found for Griffin here, still staying behind, nobody cares. As there is actually there's a laps car between them actually, so Griffin will have DRS at some point.
That's massive to be fair.
Oh, Nicholas has a massive spin. Sid is able to get ahead. What can the Ferrari do? These two drivers colliding. If you don't remember what happened with Sid last time he was here, he had a massive wheel lock and was unfortunately unable to finish this race. Are they really about to go too wide coming out of sector 1? Yes, they are. Almost both spin. I think the V-Carb just picked up damage there, and the second Alpine of Morgan is now running behind them. Sid should be able to fly away as soon as he can here. It's definitely not going to be... It's definitely still going to be falling back positions, but if these drivers aren't able to catch up...
To be honest, Nicholas turned into Istanbul in there.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I didn't see what happened there. It did look a bit scrappy, but with these 3-second penalties, these guys are going to be fighting as hard as they can in these final 6 laps. These 3 are the only ones within DRS now of each other, or 4. Sid has a disadvantage now.
But the drivers without penalties now top 4, so goes to show that those people who are consistent are also the fastest.
Ferrari making a move on Sid. Can Sid get the switch back? I don't think he can. Almost having a wheel lock. He's colliding. Sid pushing him off the track just a bit. And stays ahead for now. Sid with that 12-second penalty. He would definitely want to be more careful trying to gain any more collisions here.
Just to the outside. Takes the inside. He's still ahead is Sid. Sid's got the inside and a double apex, so he should be able to hang him out to dry. Doesn't just clear him, he does now. So Sid managing to defend that. That's good racing. Scrappy but good racing. Getting a nice view from Nicholas's T-cam as well. Does him a favour, he gets to stay in the DRS for a bit longer.
Is Lewis about to make a move around Wolfren for P4? Yes, he is. Wolfren staying P5 where he is. With these drivers behind him scrapping, he might be able to pull off this one stop and stay exactly where he is, which will be great points for him.
That would be really good points.
And back to where we were before. Ty Clear is now ahead of Morgan, and Morgan just stuck within the 2 attempts of.
Oh, side by side again. Sorry to butt in, but Istanbul's now ahead of Sid, parking it in front of him now that he got ahead, probably trying to slow down the exit for Sid, which is fair game. But they're going to be side by side again after this. Oh, maybe not. Oh, but Nicholas is finally having his say in this fight of the inside of Sid.
Yeah.
That's
pushing Sid a bit
I
too
don't know.
wide here. I think a collision might happen soon enough. Where do they go? Went off it.
Got more drivers on the way now though. We've got
Yeah,
Cycler
that
right
was a
behind. Oh,
bit.
Sid!
Yeah, that's really unfortunate there. Nicholas not giving him enough space and causing a collision.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Sid.
My pad, my keyboard had a bit of an attack and just started pressing random buttons. But that's really unfortunate for Sid there. Second time in Mexico, he has been unfortunate and has fallen back. Now with that spin, he will be definitely out of the points. But I imagine another penalty will be coming with V-Club's way from what I've seen from my point of view. But tyre clear, much fresher tyres, should be able to get the move done. And does so, stays away, gets P7. Or is there still going to be some more scrappy moves here? I think this Nicholas just needs to watch out for his Raycraft. That was even more scrappy with tyre clear, but tyre clear being able to come out of it safely. So all of a sudden, Andreas might be in to score some points today. He will be finishing P10 if things stay as they are. And Griffin now catching up, still 1.5 with this many laps to go. Both of them pretty much the same, well, same lap tyres. So Sid gets another 3-second penalty. Sid and these penalties, he's not having a good day.
Yeah, sorry, I accidentally muted myself, but I did say as well, let it be known Nicholas is on like 10 lap older hard tyres, so he's making the best out of a bad situation here. So the driving that he's doing might not be his intention or
As he
whatever.
slides
He's
into
pit
the
now.
pits actually. That is good news for... Oh, he retired. So that is good news for Sid. Sid will be in the points.
Nicholas, you were in the points. Why did you retire?
3 laps left to go.
Could have made it to the end quite easily. You could have made it to the end in P11 on softs with P. That's a shame.
Seconds. This is the penalty Sid's got. As Griffin's now actually within DRS, obviously nobody cares, so we can finally go back to the main course of action and see who will get this win in the final 3 laps. Both have probably the same tyre wear, maybe some better than others depending on how they save their tyres. But 8 attempts with this many laps to go, we are on for a fight. Yellow flags ahead of them, no overtakes will be done on the second DRS straight. I think that's a DRS straight, but yeah. I imagine some will be being made in the final 2 laps or so.
Fair play to Dougie. It was like a minute and nearly a lap behind, even the car ahead of him.
Oh yeah, I just noticed that.
Picking out like a man.
That is someone who definitely wants to race for fun, and so far he is P16. He's not dead. Well, he's dead last, but he will be at least finishing the race. I'm gonna sneeze.
Bless you, Ashton. While we have a look at the current fight for the lead, it's Griffin has caught up to the back of Nobody Cares, so that gap is sort of nullified. That Nobody was able to pull out last lap of the race. No, it's not that, sorry.
Second to last lap. Well, Griffin is definitely going to have to make moves this lap if he wants to try and... Well, no, next lap would be more safe for him actually with the wing difference. So if he doesn't make a move in Sector 2, or at least Sector 1 next lap, that will be his win gone, and he will be losing out to Nobody Cares once again. Andrea's now P9. With no penalties, he will definitely be jumping a few positions here, especially ahead of Sid. So Andreas is on for a comfortable amount of points. We've also had a really good race from the two Ferrari drivers, and Wolfrin, who's been able to pull off a one stop, as Ty Clear might even jump even more positions now ahead of his teammate. But this Williams driver is showing what it's like to stay consistent, as I think there might be some moves made. Now is the time to do it. If you as Griffin, you want to overtake on this lap, it's just the final chance you have.
Yeah, it's going to be close into the first turn. This could be the move that decides the race.
As they go side by side, still side by side coming to turn 1. Does he get the move? Yes, he does. That is a great overtake from Griffin. Probably the overtake of the day, but what can Nobody Cares do to respond? Still got pretty much half the lap to go. And with this wing difference, I think Griffin might have actually just got this on the final lap of the race, but he had a bit of a wiggle there. That's definitely going to cost him. But I think with the way he's gaining time right now, I think this race has been handed over to Griffin. All he needs to do now is keep it within the white lines and not get a free second, as that will be definitely costly as we come up to the final DRS straight of this race. What can Nobody Cares do? Nobody Cares is going to have to make a brave move come into this turn, which he doesn't, and that is pretty much the win going over to the Red Bull driver right here. A P2 and a P3, well possibly P4, depending on where Mira is at the end of this race. But that has been a great race from start to finish, and that is your race winner, Griffin, who gets his first win of the season. Definitely not his first win in this league, but Nobody Cares falls back, getting overtaken on that last lap, put in P2. Lewis falls down to P4, and that puts Mira up into that podium position, and followed by the rest. We have Rolfrin, who was able, I believe, to do a one stop and got to P5, which was really good from him. And then we have the two Ferrari drivers, P6 and P7. Clear will jump up to P6, and Istanbul will be 7th. And then Sid, obviously, with his position, I doubt he will be finishing where he is. So Andres P8 with a good chunk of points for McLaren, P2, P3 and P8. Sid falling out of the points. Morgan at least scoring some points for Alpine. There's actually no, Sid stays exactly where he is. He gets 1 point here. And that is pretty much it done. Alberto Tetris, P12, Trek Tortulus, P13. And on debut, had a strong race, but obviously not probably the race he wanted. Gets P14, and give a round of applause for Williams finishing his first race of OTLR. We've got RS Salguero and Dougie finishing off the top of the finishers, by the back of the finishers. But that was a strong race from those front two. Griffin being able to just about get ahead of Nobody Cares, getting from P3, I believe, to P1, I think. Yeah, winning that race has been really strong for him. Hopefully he can do it next week. Next week we are at... I don't even have the calendar on here. What am I doing? I need to get that. Right, we'll get it back afterwards.
Oh, my game crashed.
It's fine, the race just ended.
Yeah, I know.
So from P4 actually to P1, it's a good moves being made by Griffin. So we go back to the camera now. Yeah, and that is... I don't even have the calendar here. What am I doing? I need to get the calendar for next race. But we are at... Oh, I guess I can. I thought we weren't doing any interviews today, but... Right. Right, as we're going to see if anyone wants to do any interviews, shall we?
Oh, so I opened Chrome and my whole PC decided to shit itself, but I'm good now.
Right. Just asking if anyone wants to do any interviews.
Is the bot working? Or?
No, we're literally waiting for an interview so anyone can join. Right. Hello there.
Hello.
Alright, well, that was Mexico taking the win, the first win of the season. How are you feeling?
A bit bad for Snowbody, to be fair.
Nothing to feel bad about. You made a move on that final lap. It's got you the position.
Yeah, to be fair, I think on fresh tyres he was slightly quicker.
Yeah.
Apart from his second stint, 'cause he didn't seem as quick on his second hard stint. Whereas I think where the fuel load was lighter, I don't know, maybe I was just a bit more consistent because I got the fastest lap on that hard stint as well. But to be fair, even in the first stint, I just thought everyone else is so far, well, not so far behind, but a little bit behind, and then I'll just chill behind him because I know he's quicker than me. So
Yeah.
just waited to the last lap to do the overtake. It's probably why I don't want to come do the interview. To be fair, because he did drive well. To be honest, he did drive well.
I mean, from P4 to P1 is pretty good race from you. I think that final overtake, the overtake where it mattered, was probably the best one we've seen of the race. So that was really good from you. P4 to P1, obviously qualifying probably didn't go as much as you planned, but it paid off in the race. And how are you looking for the rest of the season? You excited for next season, next race, which I believe is Singapore. How do you feel around there?
Singapore's not my best track, but to be fair, either's Mexico. To be honest, so
Yeah, and you just
um,
won that, so anything can happen.
yeah, exactly. I think if I do some proper practice for Singapore, it'd be alright. Because I only done half an hour today, so
Yeah. And
but
obviously,
yeah,
I
no.
I think with your undercut, I think for your second stint, it kind of worked, but then Nobody Cares sort of played ahead and took a gamble, and it did kind of work out with that Williams driver just holding you up just a bit, but your pace, you was able to catch up for those final few laps and make that move where it counted. So thinking of next week, you think you're going to go for the undercut on him again? Because that does seem to where you try and get the move made on Nobody Cares.
Yeah,
Worked for the first few
I
stints.
don't know. I always try and have a look to see what the track is like and how good the undercut or the overcut is. Some tracks it's obviously better, but I think it's the depending on I don't know. To be fair, I tend to like follow whatever the person in front's doing. But
Yeah.
if my tires are gone, I just go in early just because I know it's going to benefit me. But yeah, I think Mexico's just one of the tracks where the undercut's quite strong, but the tire wear's so big. So as soon as even though he's on one lap more hards, it just slowly creeping up on him. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, with now the second Aston Martin driver getting promoted to Division One, you guys are comfortably leading the title. Well, the constructors' title. I don't know how it's going to be for the drivers. I think you will be a close P second or P2 to Nobody Cares who'll be leading, but only by just about. With this new change, do you think you guys, well, you guys are probably favourites now to win the constructors?
I think to be fair, Lewis he struggled to qualifying, but Lewis is basically he's like same pace or sometimes even faster than me. So I just think he's just when his race comes along, then it should be all right. But yeah, I think constructors as long as we're consistent, yeah, we'll probably do well. But I'm
Yeah.
not gonna go as far to say we're strong contenders yet.
Well, that was it for this race. You had a really good race. Congratulates to you for winning with that amazing move from the second to final lap. That's what got it done. And we'll be back next week for Division 2, and the stream will be back up tomorrow for Division 1 with